everybody, welcome back to Off the Clock, and this week we are with Miss Kaylee Grace.
Hey!
So what really got you into softball? Who was the first person that was like, pick up the glove?
Okay. I want to say it was my dad. He was always like, so my dad played football in college. He played at Boston College. So from an early age, he was like sports, like, you know, so he was super encouraging in me being active. Now, softball wasn't my first sport. I did like karate, I did soccer, I've done archery.
She was the very first karate kid.
Literally, guys.
So your high school pitching game record was 34-5. That's a crazy number.
Yeah, we also had some phenomenal athletes who are currently playing in college or have recently committed to playing in college, and so I cannot take any, if all, of the credit at all. Like, it's the girls on the team that made that happen.
So what are like some of your earliest memories of playing softball?
There's definitely a lot, but I think like a big round circle moment, like we were talking about it a little bit earlier, like one of my biggest moments, like when I was young, so probably around like I was 9 playing up at like U10, we were like in cutoff like tank tops
Yeah.
and I was still playing in shorts and knee-high socks, like, oh yeah, full, like that's how long ago we're talking. Like we were at like the state tournament, and I remember like I was awful. I was so bad. I was like, put her in right field, like nothing's gonna get hit over there. And all of a sudden, like the game-winning like hit gets sky high, like you can't even see it. And all of a sudden, I just like kind of put my glove up there, and it's like it's the Super Bowl. Like I see my coaches sprinting out, my teammates run into me, and like I think this might have been like the first catch I've like ever had, honestly. But that's like probably like one of the peak moments where I'm like, oh, maybe I was meant to be an outfielder from then, you know? But yeah, that's probably the earliest memory I have.
Freshman year of high school was our COVID year.
Oh my goodness.
Softball
Was
during
it really?
COVID. Yes. Softball during COVID. I remember being crazy.
I remember that the end of the years when it happened, and I remember taking physics as a freshman, and I was so glad I never had to take that end of year test. I was like, okay, the test was, can you boil water on the stove, and like send a video of it, and I'm like, you know what,
Easiest test.
Thank goodness, like I did not have to take the, like we have standardized testing, it's called MCAS, and like I don't know what you guys have it as,
We
but
have like state testing and what are they called?
like it's the test you
Our
need to
Regents exam.
Yeah, it's like the test you need to like take to graduate, and it was like we had to have like science, like
Yep.
like literature, math, and so the science one we got exempt from. We didn't have to take it,
We got
and that was
exempt
like
from our history one.
you had a history one.
But somebody had leaked like the
Oh,
answer
no.
sheet, and so the whole state exam, like everybody got it canceled. Nobody had to
Really?
take the U.S. history.
Yeah,
Regents
so
exam.
we only had, for the longest time, up until like when I maybe my middle of my high school career, like it was just, you know, English and math, that's it. And then all of a sudden they added like you have to take either physics, chemistry, or like bio, and like you get one out of the 3. And I'm like, well, glad I am not a sciencey person, and the people who are, like, God bless you.
What was your
that's
guys'
awesome.
like training for COVID?
So in high school, so basically freshman season gone. I did
we
not get
didn't
a
play.
freshman
They were like,
season.
oh, 2 weeks of virtual
Nope.
workouts. We're gonna come back so you guys are ready to play. Never happened.
Yeah, I didn't have a
Waste of
lot.
time.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot that occurred with high school when it came to COVID. A lot of my experiences came from outside with my club teams and, you know, my competitive travel teams so it was really tough for me too, because I played for a team out of New Hampshire at the time, and so you couldn't cross borders. And so I couldn't go up there, and so half the team was in Massachusetts, half the team was up in New Hampshire, so they had to split. So we had to do a split practice where the people who lived in Mass, like from all the sport teams with that like program, would meet there, and you'd be wearing masks inside, and like, you know, thinking about it, it was like, at least we were able to do it. At least we were able to do something, because honestly, softball was a saving grace for me during COVID.
Absolutely.
It was so tough for me to like have to be cramped up inside and, you know, not be able to do anything. Like, and I think a lot of people too like fell upon like technology and like, you know, online just platforms and video games and all that. And I think that it took me a very long time to get off that track, which really was
You get
It put me in a
stuck
very
that
hard place.
routine of, okay, well, I do school from home.
Yeah.
I do softball from home.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wear a mask. This sucks. And then you
Yeah.
have to break all those cycles you just had to relearn how to do.
Basically. And like for me at least, it was one of those things that I was very like antisocial for probably a year and a half after. Like for the people who know me, like I will not stop talking, and that's like they're like, please like stop talking. And you know, like to think like when if they think about it, like me not talking for like almost a year, like that's insane. Oh yeah, so my brother, he's a freshman in high school this year. Like he's, you know, just playing football. So he's at that age. But honestly, like I see like him like doing things and succeeding like in areas that I didn't, and it makes me so happy for him. Like I'll mention this later too, I'm sure, like with whatever topics, but I want other people to be better than I am. I want other people to succeed, and especially my little brother. It is so important to me that he gets like even more success than I didn't, because I didn't know like what to do. Like had I done XYZ, I would have been whatever place. But like those are the ifs that we're never going to be able to change. So like I would never change anything about ending up at Bonaventure. I love where I ended up, and I'm here for a reason. And I think it really does, like, it's going to make up who I am at the end of the day. It was a big wake-up call. I met a really big mentor of mine. His name's Sean. He gave me a great opportunity out in like at the end of my high school career. He said, I want to give you a graduation gift, but it's going to be better than money, whatever. I'm going to give you an experience. So I got to get in on a project as it was like a manager type role, but you know, I was in high school and I was young, but I got experience with a video game company. And I got to sit on calls. I'd have to wake up at 2, 3 a.m. because the majority of the team worked out of England or the UK. And there was one time I got to sit in on one of the team, all these people who are millionaires, like who are, you know, they're doing this project for fun. Like
they're doing this for fun, and I am not.
It was one of those things that during the time cryptocurrency was just starting to boom, and the idea was, can we find a way to connect video games with, you know, watching virtual games live and cryptocurrency? Like, can you earn cryptocurrency while playing video games? And we found a way to make that happen. And it was awesome. It was a few years of my life that I am so grateful for. And, you know, for a time I'm like, okay, maybe I want to get into, you know, coding. Maybe that's something I want to do. I want to do cybersecurity or something like that. And then eventually I changed my mind. But that experience really taught me, and I got to sit in on an interview with someone from Africa and Nigeria, and I got to hear these people from all different areas of the world, and, you know, how their videos look and what they have to say and what their thoughts are on projects like this. And it was an amazing experience that, had I not realized and had I not been willing to put aside time to learn and get uncomfortable, I would have never had that happen.
A 12-year-old Kaylee, and you could tell us the story if you want to. You don't have to.
I'll give a short version.
Was diagnosed with scoliosis.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
What did 12-year-old Kaylee think about that in her future?
I think that 12-year-old me would be so proud of myself. Because, so I'll give a little bit of a quick story. So what we're talking about right now is when I was about 12, I was diagnosed with a very severe condition of scoliosis. And it's a curvature of my spine, which, you know, some people may notice, like, one of my shoulders is a little bit taller than the others, or one of my hips is a little bit, like, higher. It basically makes it so my spine is a lot weaker, and it just really, at the time, it really affected everything that I did. But, so I went to the doctors, and well, the first thing started was how did I find out I had scoliosis? I was in gym class, and they were doing those daily checkups, and they were like, hey, like, you know, bend over, touch your toes, and all of a sudden, like, the school nurses looked at each other and, you know, started writing something down, and I'm like, okay, whatever, can I go back to playing dodgeball? And so my mom pulls me over, and she said, hey, like, I got an appointment, we got to go to the hospital tomorrow, and I'm like, what? Okay. Like, to me, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. So we've got an incredible specialist, and he explained to me, like, I had to get x-rays. It was hours long. I remember sitting there for hours, still not really understanding what is going on. And I had to get an x-ray done. I remember getting in that hospital gown, and I never, ever want to get in one again. Like, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I hate this. Because I had to get in it so many times when I was younger. And he basically said, like, your curvature is so severe, there is a chance you will lose your ability to walk. And as a 12-year-old, like, being told, like, you will probably be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, that was tough. I remember just looking at my parents and just bawling my eyes out. Because, like I mentioned earlier, like, you know, I, around 10 years old, just found, hey, like, I have a sport that I really like. And it wasn't until, like, 11, 12 years old where I, like, actually started to get good at it, where I started to, like, practice it consistently, you know, really enjoy it. And I was like, no way, this isn't real. This can't be real. And it was, sadly, for me. And it's real for so many other people in the world. So I had to be put in a brace, and I had to wear it for almost 24 hours a day. And it went from my hip all the way up to underneath my armpit. And, like, I have a permanent mark on, like, my stomach for it, like, up here. And, you know, so it does carry with me every day. And, like, when I look in the mirror, it's a reminder every single day. But it's also a reminder of what I had to do to get where I am. What did I have to do to get out of that wheelchair, to not be in that wheelchair? And I think for me, it was, at first, it was like, this is awful, to, okay, what can I do? So I had a trainer, my dad, he's now one of my godfathers, and he was like, all right, let's go. So every week I would go to the gym, and I'm 12. I'm the only 12-year-old in this gym with, like, bodybuilders and all this. And so for me, this was, like, really intimidating at the time. But he was like, we're just going to start with basic stuff. And I'm like, okay, like, I really hadn't worked out before. So we started with, like, planks. We started with, you know, core. The primary thing I had to do was learn how to build up my core, because if I didn't build up my core, my back could have collapsed on me any day, and I would have been in that wheelchair, and there really wasn't anything else I could do about it except surgery. And Lord knows I did not want surgery.
Nope.
I still fight surgery, like, very frequently, and I'm like, I will not do it until after college if I really need it. But it was one of those things that I'm like, I can do this. There is a way, and I'm going to keep doing it. So I had to wear the brace. I had to, you know, work out. I had to do all that. But, you know, of course, there's people who, you know, like, I would wear super baggy clothes, and there, of course, are going to be people who are going to be like, something's different. What's going on here? So I'd kind of get bumped at school, or people would try to see, like, how hard could they hit me before I felt it. And, you know, I'd get called the cyborg. I'd get called, you know, a whole bunch of different things. And it was hard. It was really hard. So eventually I came public with it. I want to say my junior or senior year of high school. And I knew this was a decision, because if I came public about having a medical condition that, like, hinders, like, you know, does cause pain or hinders whatever, like, it could be a deterrent to college coaches. And I said, you know what? I don't care. This is something I want to speak up about, because if I'm experiencing it, there may be other people out there who are too.
And there absolutely is. And I know, especially because I grew up knowing what scoliosis is, and knowing people who had it, even if they were very minor cases of it, it's helpful no matter what you go through when somebody else has gone through a similar thing.
And the best thing that happened of it was I had a young girl reach out to me and say, hey, I'm going through the same exact thing that you went through. Like, thank you for, like, coming up about it. Like, what did you do? What can I do? Is there hope? And for me, like, I had people tell me there is no hope to play in college, like, at a high level. And so, you know, a big reason why I'm like, why did I want to play at such a high level? I wanted to prove it to myself, but I also wanted to prove it to other people that it doesn't matter if you have any type of condition. Like, if you work hard enough, anything is possible.
How did you fight that with softball?
So,
I mean, you do a lot.
Yeah, sorry, that was like a lot.
No, it's all right, because, like, that's important. That's an important thing to talk about. It's important to spread awareness. It's important to build that community, because some things, even from 10, 20 years ago, feel so sheltered away. And, like, these people were pushed away. And called crazy and nobody wanted to talk about it, and it was a secret, and it's not. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's who you are and the challenge you've faced and how you've overcome it. And you added another layer to that by adding a sport that you went collegiate, is that the right word?
Yeah.
You went pro with, kind of. Like, you came to college to play softball. Mm-hmm. Bonaventure signed you to play softball. And having that severe of a condition, which, from my view, has drastically improved, mm-hmm. How did you manage to do all that and play this sport and be so good at it on top of it?
I think a big reason, like, I guess we're circling back again, like, what did I do over COVID? I met some people online who, one being Lacey Waldrop and another being, her name is Courtney, and these people who were very highly skilled. Lacey Waldrop, she played at Florida State, and, you know, she was a coach of mine for a while, and Courtney, she helped me, like, find, all right, what can we do to, like, really target that part of your back? And I became like a guinea pig of all right, is there a way that we can kind of straighten your back by working out? And it worked. Like, there's a way to strengthen my muscles to kind of force my back to be in a stable enough spot. So softball's really a reason too that, like, it was a motivating factor of I want to keep playing. So it was a lot of what happened in the gym and what happened outside of the sport that helped me, like, you know, balance it. And it was, hey, this is my reward. The only time I was able to take off my back brace was when I was playing softball. So that was, like, the biggest thing I looked forward to in the day. Like, I can't wait to take this thing off. Let me go play. And I remember being at tournaments and, like, all right, well, if we're between games right now, I got to put it back on. And, no. My favorite part was getting on that field and playing because I didn't have to wear it.
Every choice everybody makes leads them to where they are today.
Mm-hmm.
Said that you wouldn't trade it for the world being here. What has been your biggest learning curve?
I think the biggest learning curve, like, as a student athlete and as, like, a student at the college level, so athletically, I'll say that, like, you will not be the number one player when you are here. I think a lot of people, you know, you are one of the top players when you're playing in, you know, high school, when you're playing in club, when you're playing at a really high level, you know, at the age group you're in. And then when you get here, you're around at the divisional level, you're the 1%. You're the 1%ers. So you're playing the best of the best. And a lot of us come here because we want to compete against some of the best of the best. And, you know, that is a curveball. That is one of those things that you have to go from, you know, being able to walk on that field and, you know, even though it's not your best day, you'll still come up winning to, okay, well, I really need my best stuff, and if I don't have my best stuff for this amount of time, I'm probably not even going to touch that field. So, and it's one of those things that it helps teach you growth, and it keeps you motivated, and it keeps you wanting to make more achievements and set new goals, and I think that is such an important thing at this level. And so, academically, too, like, the demand for courses is a lot higher. You have to understand that you do sometimes have to put in hours of studying in the library to do well on tests. You do have to time manage everything that you're doing, and you can't just say, I'll do it later. You have to, you know, when things have a deadline, you have to understand that you got to get it to that deadline, or a lot of professors will not cut you any slack. And, you know, understanding that, like, you know, maybe stepping out of your comfort zone and asking someone, hey, like, can you, like, what is your thoughts on this? Or, you know, going to a tutor, or not being afraid to ask questions, or going to a professor's office hours. Like, if you weren't necessarily so comfortable with it, you have to step out of your shell a lot. There's a lot of different things you have to do to, like, and changes in college. It's night and day from high school. It really is.
I know, and that was, like, the biggest thing is so many people were like, oh, college is so much like high school, and it's the same thing. And I got here and I was like, you're crazy.
Yep. No.
What are you talking about? Excuse me. This is not the same as high school. I have one class for 50 minutes and I don't have class again for 4 hours.
And I don't know about you, but, like, my attention span, like, sometimes is not that, like,
I got here and I was like, what do I do?
Right? Like,
what am I supposed to do?
Some of my, like, classes might have been, like, I'd have, like, maybe 6 classes a day, but, like, they'd be, like, way shorter periods. And here I'm like, okay, this is only 2 classes today? Okay, that's
I only have 2 classes, but one of them's an hour and a half. Where we talk about absolutely nothing important. Because it's a gen ed, and I don't want to be here.
Question for you guys. Do you think that freshmen should be able to drive a car? Like, their freshman
Yes,
year?
only because I had a car as freshman and he did too. For anybody who's curious, Aiden's sitting behind the camera.
Yeah, sorry. I was pointing at Aiden.
It's okay. Only because, like, as a freshman, I went home every weekend because I only live 30 minutes away. So I think it's helpful to have a car, and especially, like, if you want to go to Walmart, if you don't want to be calling somebody for a ride all the time. Oh, I want to go to Walmart. I have to go to the doctor.
See, like, I've had to do that the last, like, year and a half, too. I think it's part of the experience.
It might be for some people, but for me, I have a big car, and everybody always hates me. They're like, why do you need such a big car? And then every time everybody wanted to go somewhere.
But it's probably good for the snow.
Can we go? Can we all go in your car? I was like,
road trip.
Oh, we're taking my car? Why? Because you all fit in my car? So, I mean, yes and no. I mean, some freshmen just shouldn't drive. Some people just shouldn't have a driver's license, and it shows. I should not be seeing all these freshman cars with giant dents in the side of them from when you hit the light pole, or somebody else.
I saw someone go over, like, the, the big speed bumps, and I was like...
I'm so glad they took the speed bumps out right now. They're not...
No, like, the barriers on, like, the side of the roads. Like, just full on drove over, and then all of a sudden they just, like, went like this. Like spun and like they went right back over, and I'm like, how did you not like ruin your rims, blow a tire out, any of that? Because those are like huge.
Crazy.
I'm like, but how did you go so fast that you just went? Doop? And I'm like,
I think freshmen should be allowed to drive here because I drove, as long as you know how to park.
how do we determine that though? And how do we
There
really
should be a
determine
course.
it? Like, should safety and security like make them do like a on-campus driving test?
It should be.
Yes.
It should be during. If you have a car, it should be during orientation. And if you cannot park correctly, like half the cars outside the back lot, you are not allowed to bring it. We'll fail your parking pass. I don't care if you bought it already. We'll refund you the money, and then you know what?
Maybe they should just have their own lot.
Yes.
So if they hit somebody's car, it's like their own class.
I like that. Give it a freshman lot. Like, make them walk.
Make them walk.
I like that idea better.
Put it across the street somewhere, like out in the woods. Make them walk. Go put it over by Walmart.
I wouldn't even be that nice. I'd say put it down by the river. You can find your way back.
Well, Kaylee, thank you for coming on to our second episode of Off the Clock. We greatly appreciate you being here. Tune in, not next week, but the following week for episode number 3 with Michael Bucko, one of our men's golf players. And we hope you have a wonderful night.
Thanks, guys.